How is it going today? Happy Monday. And as part of the weekly video series for your trade with Castillo, we'd like to do live streams on Monday. Wednesday, we do NPOC levels. And then Friday, we do quick VIP breakdown segments. But shout out to the stream sponsors, guys. Tealstreet is what we use for the level 2 right here. Probably one of my favorite utilized tools within tradings. It gives us an order book. It gives us the depth chart. And this is basically watching the market breathe, right? Also, CoinCatch. They are the perpetual exchange of choice. Now, CoinCatch is probably my favorite exchange out there on the market right now. No VPN, no KYC. Good liquidity because it's built on top of Bitget's entire infrastructure. So just a very, very good utilized tool for you guys to be trading with. And then also Coinbase, they have been the exchange that I've been with since the beginning. You can use perpetuals outside of the United States, but you know, if you're a KYC trader and then you're in the States, you know, you kind of just use it for spot like me. So shout out to the sponsors for continuing to make this content free for you guys each and every week. Going into some NPOC levels here on BTC, going from the next area of interest to long for me, you know, I'm really looking to long at 64197. Now I am still long on BTC from 60,721. That is where my average is. If we drop to 64197, that is exactly where I would be looking to kind of add next, and I would be happy to add within that area. I'm not going to short down to this level, but for me, that is where I am considering my next long entry. This is where we kind of created our next short plan. Now, me personally, I am on the higher conviction area to want to short up at upper limit. This is a better area to short into if you're wanting to short. We can kind of just continue to stick with our setups from here, guys. There's not much else that's new as far as the setups that we have. You guys know me, I have not been very short heavy on crypto majors for the entire year. Even though we've seen some downside, I still think that there's more benefit and a better risk reward into longing dips. That's kind of the mindset that I've continued to have since the year started, honestly. This is the time that you need to dive into the level 2s and see exactly what's happening. And what I can tell you what's happening is that the dips are getting bought up with a little bit of strength. So that's not something that I want to be short into. And even just looking right here, right? You know, this is kind of where I watch just the broad spectrum of markets. Equities is looking pretty good. You know, BTC and Ethereum are looking like they want to break out. And so again, that's holding me off on wanting to trade this short setup that we created, you know, over 2 weeks ago. So again, you know, I hope that that's a good explanation on telling you guys that sometimes these things aren't automatic shorts or automatic longs. So getting into some high term time frames, I still think that BTC can see upwards of 80K. Could be a potential deviation above. We kind of talked about that, where we see a deviation below, a deviation above. Everybody comes piling in for longs thinking that 100K is going to come, and then boom, we accept kind of back into lower, which is kind of exactly what I talked about on PEPE. Almost identical to this current range chart on BTC. You know, we saw the sweep lower and then a retest of upper limit and then a rejection. So maybe PEPE and the memes are just kind of ahead of what happens on BTC, and I posted this before. So maybe we see, you know, the sweep, the deviation above on upper limit, and then we accept back into current range as well. What percentage of report do you put into each trade on average? I look to get an overall position size of like 10 to 15K. But does it always happen? No, it doesn't. I just urge you guys to find out what you are comfortable with. There's not a percentage of my portfolio. Yes, there's a percentage on like a cap of the entire trade, which I said about 10 to 15K is what I look to get average, but I'll go over that if I need to. I flow with water, like with the markets. I don't set a set of rules on position sizing. I don't set rules on 2% stop. You know, people will get into trades and they'll put a 2% stop on every single trade, but it makes no sense. You're going to bleed your account of 1,000 cuts, because if you just get stopped out at 2% every time and you're going all in at one entry every time, I just think it's a good way to bleed your account out. Trust me, guys, I've done it. So there's multiple ways to construct a trade. You know, I like to use the analogy of golf. If anybody golfs, you know just how fucking hard golf is. There's so many factors that come into play. If you try and copy someone's golf swing and you try and copy exactly how somebody is trying to play the game, it's literally impossible. You trying to exactly do what somebody else is doing on their game plan is just not going to work out, right? It's literally impossible. And that's the way that I like to look at it. You know, for me, if you want to copy my trades, it's not possible, because one, I have more capital to play with than some people, right? And some people have more capital than me to play with, right? So I don't ever look at somebody and be like, oh, I want to copy their trades because they're making millions of dollars. Like, I know my role, I know my strengths, and I know how I would like to work my portfolio. The biggest advice I can give you guys is just get out there and get the experience. Crypto trades 24/7. This isn't the stock market where it closes for a majority of the day. You can wake up, you can come home from work, you can stay up late, and you can physically trade active markets. So do that. Get into the routine and knowing what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. Sometimes I don't get the full position size I want and the trade kind of goes on without me. But again, I'm not going to whine and complain, because profit is profit. Like, let's just say we reverse from right here. and we go completely up and I only get my, $600 to $800 to $1,000 starter position. But it doesn't really matter because you're still making money on that. If you hit 50% on that starter position, that's $500. You got to be happy with $500. Is it, these big P&Ls that a lot of these people on crypto Twitter are showing? No, it's not 50K, 100K, 250K that a lot of people post on those screenshots. But $500 is $500 that you made in a few minutes. Don't ever compare yourself. Fuck what everybody else is posting. But in my opinion, all that fucking does for people is just discourages the shit out of them. It discourages people because they can't get to that level. And so they force things. My trading journey has been a fucking grind. I never got lucky. I never hit $1 million on a meme coin. It's been a fucking grind. $1,000 here, $1,000 there. Yes, I've had some big winners over the course of the last 4 years where, 50, 60K, 100K, but majority that doesn't happen to me often. Looking for a few $1,000s here, a few $1,000s there, be realistic of what these markets are giving you. Don't overanalyze thinking that you're going to become a millionaire. And yes, there's lottery tickets on meme coins for sure, but it's not going to happen to everybody. Stocks are at all-time high. Looks good for climbing the wall of worry. This is the election year, so it looks like good for higher now. Yeah, I think that's a great analysis, AG. When it comes to the stock market, you got to understand, guys, America is very good at kicking the can down the road, regardless of what fucking happens, right? There's so many old heads that have huge holdings of their pensions. They don't want that to drop or, some catastrophic event to happen to where markets go completely lower before they retire. So you got to think America's great at kicking the can down the road and just figuring it out, making sure that it just goes up. So this is what I talk about when I talk about, kicking the can down the road. America's very good at just figuring it out. If you just look at this fucking chart, they're very good at just making sure that it goes higher and higher and higher, regardless of the things that happen. Like the COVID crash, obviously one thing, but look at how much it climbed after the COVID crash. And then boom, start of the recession, interest rates going high, inflation going high. And then look, boom, now we're at all-time fucking highs again. And until all those old heads who have millions of dollars in their pensions get out of office, I don't think that anything's going to happen to the stock market. Is BTC ripping? Let's fucking see. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. Oh, let's go. Where's BONK at? See what my BONK trade's doing. So I'm at about 14% on BONK. Again, had a pretty good position size. I might start continuing to take some profit up on 20%. So we're doing good, man. We're doing good today. 70K incoming. Yeah, I mean, this is why I wasn't shorting. I literally just went over that we did have a short based off of this setup here, but I wasn't shorting it. I went into why I wasn't shorting it, right? These aren't automatic sells. They aren't automatic buys. All it is, there are areas of interest that you need to be focused on. And so right now, there was indications to me that the dips were being bought up pretty quick. There's a lot of strength across all markets. So there's no reason to be shorting this setup when we're at median ML breaking above, looking for an upper limit retest. So let's fucking go, send it higher. I hope you guys like the camera angle. I really fucking appreciate all you guys. Trying to collect my clout as much as possible within my trades, within my live stream. So if you guys give me engagement on that, I love the engagement. I appreciate the engagement. I'm still trying to grow across all social medias, guys. And again, everything I'm doing for you guys will continue to stay free, baby. This is the next area of interest I'm willing to long on Ethereum is that 3034. And the next area of interest I'm willing to short is going to be 3313. So that's still my target. I will be taking some profits off. I am still long Ethereum. I am still looking for Ethereum to go higher here. But again, it's the same market maker model that BTC is following, right? Here, lows, retest median ML, and then retest of upper limit, right? So same market maker model, very similar, both BTC and Ethereum. Ethereum is just lagging BTC a little bit. No harm, no foul. Could you speak about the initial entry and size? What is DCA down to? How to exit? For example, if my account is 500, it's just hard. I try and do my best for this, but a $5,000 account doesn't give you much room, right? Because let's just use this as an example. If you have a $5,000 account and you're trying to dollar cost average between these NPOC levels right here, which again, doesn't fucking matter if your entry is at 3061 or 2872, right? Once Ethereum is trading at 3,900, it doesn't fucking matter because you're going to be in profit. So that's why I say you need to look for an area of interest to dollar cost average into. You don't want to go all in at once and then you're down 50% right away. It's just a terrible way of trading. So my biggest advice to you guys, if you're using a $5,000 account, is you got to take smaller position size because that's the only way that you're going to give yourself room to average down. And then also, don't use high leverage. If you have $5,000, your leverage should not go over 5x. It just shouldn't, because you don't need to be trading massive leverage. Yeah, so I'm still long bonk, and I'm still targeting, retest of these highs and a retest of higher. But again, it doesn't really matter to me because I was trading bonk earlier in the week and I was able to take profits up higher. And instead of cutting that trade, I actually added back into that trade. So repositioned myself on bonk, still took profits once, added back in. It's like a flowing trade, right? Like, look at it this way. If I took an entry here, I took profits here, right? Once things started to drop, let's just say you put a stop loss at entry. Well, instead of putting that stop loss at entry, I just decided to add again. So it's the same flowing trade, right? I just protect by taking partial profits off of the table. Thank you guys for joining the stream today. I appreciate you as always. Please don't forget to go over, like, and subscribe on YouTube, guys. It really does help me out. The live streams are for VIP members only. I don't tweet it out. I just keep it to my tight community. And I have a team of editors that does the recap and then I post that out. But really, the live streams are only meant for you guys. As always, I'm here for you guys. I'm doing my best to provide everything for free. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you over in the Telegram. Peace.